Hi guys, my name is Chelsea Stewart. I live in Tampa, Florida, and I am an online personal trainer. I also have a master's degree in speech language pathology, and I do that full-time, so that's why I do my training online. I absolutely love my job, but I really love fitness too, and I was helping so many people out at the gym, but people were asking me, you know, you should train me, you should be a trainer, so I figured why not. I went and got my NASM certification over the summer, and now I train people online, and I love it. I'm here today to talk to you guys a little bit about my faith and my fitness and kind of what role they play in my life and how important they both are, and how I really honestly feel like they are so intertwined with each other, and I feel like a lot of people don't see that and don't. I hope that, you know, maybe it can help you think a little bit, maybe help you start a relationship with God, help you to learn to love yourself. I do want to say, like, I grew up going to church. Now, I'm not like from a family that grew up in the church, you know, but every Sunday we went to church. It was, you know, we either went to church or we sat at home and we read the Bible. Sundays were God, Sundays were family. That's kind of how I grew up. That's how it always was to me. But I wouldn't say that I really had a relationship with God. You know, I never doubted God's existence. I always believed God was there, but it was very one-sided. It wasn't like, you know, I spent any time trying to get to know him other than that 1 hour at church on Sunday, and then maybe occasionally when my dad felt the need to sit down and talk to me about God. But go to church on Sunday, just part of the culture type thing. On the other side, I grew up really itty-bitty tiny little person. My last name is Stewart, and people would literally call me Stewart Little because I was so short, I was so petite, I could not put on weight for the life of me. Not that I ate so bad. I would eat McDonald's every day, every meal every day, not just like lunch every day, every meal. If I could, I would be eating McDonald's. Come home from school and eat 15 pizza rolls as a snack, and then 30 minutes later be hungry again. And then I was just itty-bitty person, you know, 5'3", barely 100 pounds, if that. I was tiny. When I was in high school, all that kind of changed. Your metabolism starts slowing down, and I started to gain weight, and I kind of felt like I was losing my identity. I know that sounds ridiculous. I was never somebody who had a ton of confidence. I was the shy, timid girl. I still am very shy, and I still am very timid. When I was younger, my confidence was just lacking. I never felt like I really had anything to offer the world. It was just kind of, you know, I was the little girl and I was cute, and people commented on that, and that kind of was the main thing people commented. Never the nice girl. I was never the sweet girl. I was never the one who would go out of their way for people. I was never the cool girl, spontaneous, whatever the stereotype would be. Mine was small girl. So when I started to gain weight, I was like, but who am I? Because I'm the small girl. Like, I can't lose that. So I started to kind of change my habits, you know. I went from the eating fast food, processed food, microwave food all the time to like, now I need to eat healthy. I need to eat chicken and vegetables. And, you know, I started Google searching. Don't Google search. Having, you know, rules, just little rules. I wouldn't say they were distorted. They were very average rules. They were, you know, don't eat 6 pieces of cake. Don't eat McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, it was eat protein and vegetables. You know, the things that like people preach everywhere. But was going along with me also developing more and more body image issues. And that just kind of spiraled out of control. I was getting more rules. The body image was getting worse. You know, I would lose weight and I would feel like I was getting fatter, or I was getting uglier, or I was getting, you know, less worthy. I don't even know how to describe it. And if anybody has ever gone through something similar, maybe you understand. It's very hard to describe because a lot of that part of your life tends to be a blur. Like, I look back from when I was 17, 18 until like 20 years old, and it's such a blur because my life was so consumed, and it started so slow. Next thing I knew, I was in college, and my little baby rules that I had in high school were now these full-blown eating disordered rules. I lost a significant amount of weight. I was over-exercising. I was compensating in any way possible as much as I could, and then eventually it got to the point where exercise wasn't even a thing I could do. My calories were just so restricted that like it was go to class, lay in bed. That's all I could do. Think about what I'm gonna eat next and how I could possibly make it be less calories than the last meal. You know, it was like a competition with myself, and it was very unhealthy. You know, whatever little teeny bit of self-confidence I had, before I developed all of these rules, body image issues, was completely gone. I had no self-confidence. I was about 21 years old. I just remember being in college, and I remember one time specifically where a bunch of my friends were going to a pool party, and I was like, I can't be seen in a bathing suit. And it wasn't just that I can't be seen in a bathing suit, it was I can't be seen in a bathing suit. I can't be around food and drinks and temptations, and I literally chose to lay in my bed by myself all day while all of my friends and my boyfriend went to a party without me, because I was so afraid to be seen. I was so afraid to be tempted to eat food. I was so afraid of everything. Kind of lost all of my friends. I think I have like 2 still from that time. So shout out to you guys for sticking through all of that. Y'all are the real MVPs for real, because all of my friends from high school and a lot of the people that I made friends with freshman year of college, I made no effort to go out with them, and when they made an effort to hang out with me, I denied them because I was so scared. I was so scared, and I wanted to isolate myself, and so I did, and I lost everything. My hair started falling out. I had no energy. I went to school. I took naps. It seems like this would have been a really good time in my life to find God again, right? You would think. But I think God knew, like, I am not the person who, when I am down like that, who is able to listen to anybody, who is able to, like, take anyone's advice, super stubborn. I am so stubborn. I think God knew that about me. So that is not the time in my life where he intervened and was like, hey, you need to be in a relationship with me and that'll totally make your life better. Because I think he knew that I would have just I wouldn't have been able to, and of course he knew that. He knows, he knows who I am. He knows who you are. My parents did step in. They were like, something's wrong. You don't eat anything. You look like you're dying. My first appointment, I got a diagnosis. Fantastic. I started going to therapy. I was never in treatment type program, but I had to check in, go to my therapist like twice a week, and then I had to go to like the big therapy doctor, psychiatrist. And she would literally weigh me, and it was the worst. Like, it was so degrading, and I have such bad memories of this time in my life. But my parents would literally bribe me to gain weight. Like, I remember the first 5 pounds that I put on, I got a new comforter. So I got to go to the store and I got to pick out a comforter. It was so exciting. And it made it all worth it. As cool as it was to be bribed to gain weight, that's kind of what my whole entire life became about, is gaining weight. That's all you get to do, is gain weight. Because I literally wasn't allowed to work out. I wasn't even allowed to do yoga. I even remember asking, like, can I just do like stretching yoga? Like, you guys can approve it. Like, I'm bored. And they literally said, no, like, you cannot afford to lose any more weight or we're going to hospitalize you. And that really did scare me. So I was still very isolated during this time, and I didn't want to be alone all the time, but I didn't know how to explain to people what I was going through. So I'd say I started kind of dabbling with talking to God a little bit more then. This is not the time in my life yet where I've really grown in my faith, and that's crazy, right? Like, when does this girl ever, meet God again? It's coming. It was a very one-sided relationship. It was like, God, please help me get through this. God, I can't do this. I need you. God, please help me do this. God, please, 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 with no thanks to God. No, nothing from me. It was all one-sided. It was, God, you give me this. God, you give me that. God, you give me this. God, I need this. Nothing to him. I spent no time trying to get to know him. So, what could I give him? So, eventually I did gain weight. And I was cleared. I was allowed to start, exercising again. And I was like, maybe I'll try this whole, like, lifting weights thing. I bought some 10-pound dumbbells, thinking I could do anything with them. Listen, let me tell you, I could not even curl the 10-pound. I couldn't do it. Like, so every time I would walk into a gym, like, I was so embarrassed because, like, I feel like normal people starting out are not ever as weak as I was. Like, maxed out at 65 pounds. That was actually, I honestly didn't even deadlift until, like, I had been lifting for 1 or 2 years. So I couldn't bench the regular bar. I couldn't do a girl push-up. I couldn't curl 10 pounds. First time I squat, I literally like couldn't do it. Even with like a preloaded bar, like I was just not balanced. So this whole lifting weights thing was very challenging to me, very challenging. But it kind of lit a spark in me. And for the first time in my entire life, I wanted to like get stronger, and I wanted to gain weight, and I wanted to be more of me instead of less of me. I had never experienced that feeling before. So I started researching. I started learning everything I could. I went on bodybuilding.com, Jamie Easton Lift Fit. You know, you started with that workout program too, didn't we all? And you know, I learned, and I kept going to the gym, and I kept practicing, and I was consistent, and I, you know, progressed very slowly. It's been about 5 years. I am 40 pounds heavier than I was when I first started my fitness journey, I guess. I'm 10 million times happier and more confident in myself. But since that day, I've competed in 3 powerlifting meets. I've gotten my squat up to 225. My bench is up to 120 pounds, and my deadlift is up to 300 pounds. But, you know, more importantly, throughout all of this, I have gone from having like a one-sided and when needed relationship with God. Now I have a relationship with Him that is two-sided, that is seeking, that is questioning, that is reading, that is learning. I'm thankful for God. I nurture my relationship with Him. I go to church on Sundays because I'm excited to, not because it's just the thing you do on Sunday. And as crazy it may seem, like finding fitness really is what led me to having a better relationship with God. If I hadn't stepped into that gym and I hadn't felt that fire in me to be better and to be more, I wouldn't have grown to love myself, and I wouldn't have grown to be confident in myself and to be proud of myself and to really appreciate the person I am and the person that God made me and the body that God gave me. And I don't know if I ever would have been able to give God the love that He deserves, you know? I think the fitness industry gets a bad rap, you know, when it comes to faith, because it is so aesthetically based most of the time. But that's not all that fitness is. Fitness is also treating your body kindly, moving your body in a way that makes you feel good in your own skin. It's allowing your body to reach its full potential. It's health. It's treating your body like a temple that it's supposed to be treated like. The comparison game is real. And especially when you're into fitness and you're following all these fitness people on social media, people who look amazing and are posting their highlight reel. As so many people say, like social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's all people's highlight reels. And it's hard to not compare yourself. But I think that having a relationship with God can help you to not compare yourself as much. I mean, we're human beings. We're going to compare. I can't do a dang pull-up to save my life. He doesn't expect us to all be the same. If He wanted us to all be the same, He would have made us all the same. So, you know, feel confident in that. You're not supposed to be like the person sitting next to you or the person on your Instagram feed. And I think it is kind of impossible to appreciate who you are and how perfect you are without having that relationship with God and really understanding, you know, what He wants from your life. Advice I would give to someone who's struggling to love themselves, because I have struggled to love myself. Find what works for you. You know, if trying to lose weight or to look a certain idealistic way is making you feel less or like you're not good enough, try something different. Try powerlifting, try strongman, try CrossFit, try yoga, try marathon running. You know, not everybody needs to be doing the same thing. Just like we're not all made the same. We don't all like the same things. And just because, you know, whoever she is on Instagram or YouTube got this amazing body by, you know, squatting and deadlifting, doesn't mean you have to. You could get an amazing body and have an amazing feeling of self-confidence by doing snatches or clean and jerks, or by running a marathon and getting a sweet sticker to put on your car that I'll never get because I can't run to save my life. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not going to sit and be like, oh, I can't run. There's something wrong with me. I'm such a disaster. Like, no, I can't run. That's true. But I can do 20 push-ups in a row. I can bench more than I weigh. You know, think about what you can do and focus on what makes you feel good. So find out what makes you feel powerful and confident, and, you know, just go with it. God does not make mistakes. He didn't mess up. You're not a mess up. Take pride in that. You can be a light in this world. Find how you can help people. You don't have to help millions of people. Find how you can help one person. It's great to pray every night and it's great to go to church, but until you spend time in the Word, and I am a testament to this because very, very recently I actually started spending time in the Word, and it's made such a difference in my life. I see things differently. I don't let my emotions rule me as much. Just little things, and you'll experience it too. But I actually got one of those yearly read the Bible in a year books, and I highly suggest doing that, getting one of those, and also maybe getting a Bible study to read along with it. That bible.org website is absolutely free. I think they run on donations, so if you want to donate, that's cool. One of my favorite Bible verses is Psalm 139 verse 14, and it says, "I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." Finding confidence in yourself, be that through fitness like it was for me and for so many other people, or maybe it's not through fitness, maybe you find yourself through art. You are able to love yourself, let Jesus know, and try to grow in a relationship with him. It's crazy how, just having that confidence that comes from being healthy and fit, treating yourself right, being strong, knowing what your body is capable of, and pushing yourself to be the best you possible, it really helps you to love God and thank him for giving you everything he's given you. So my name is Chelsea Stewart. Again, my Instagram is Chelsea Stewart with an underscore. If you ever want to look me up, please do. I'm nice. I try to be. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed my story.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke. I love Jesus and I love bodybuilding. I am just so excited to be a part of this, honestly. Cassidy, I have loved following you on Instagram. You're one of my biggest inspirations ever, so just to be a part of this movement that you've created is really exciting. I am currently a sophomore and I'm studying marketing and finance with a minor in nutrition, and I'm also hoping to get my personal training certification. So I'm actually going to backtrack a little bit because my fitness journey started a while back. When I was around 6 or 7, I was put through every single sport that a parent puts their child through. I feel like that's the age where your parents put you through all of these different sports, and they're like, we have to find the perfect sport for our child. So I was put through soccer, I was put through t-ball, I was put through basketball, cheerleading, any sport really that you can think of, I was put through it. I kind of decided that I didn't really want to play any other sport other than basketball. And nutrition was never really taught to me. I love my parents. I'm an only child, so I'm super close with my parents. We always just went for something that was quick and something that was easy and something that we could grab on our way to practice. That pretty much kind of is like a background on my nutrition raising, because I personally believe that you should teach nutrition at a young age because it should be something that you should practice for your whole entire life. I was around 125 pounds, so when I was a child, I was the child that was really heavy. I was a 4th grader who weighed 125 pounds, but as I got taller and grew, my weight didn't change. I moved schools 2 hours away from my hometown, and I moved to a private school. And I ended up deciding that sports were just not going to be a thing anymore. I was still eating. I was physically training every day. I was taking in so many calories. None of them were good food. It was all like Chick-fil-A, fried sandwiches and fries, and that's like a favorite of mine. I love to treat myself to that, but I was doing it consecutively, like days upon days upon days. I wasn't eating fruits, I wasn't eating vegetables, I didn't care. I ended up putting on about around 30 pounds from my weight that I had started at. I was around 153 pounds, and that's not fat and that's not skinny, but that is the weight that I was at. Was not healthy weight. I was just constantly eating peanut butter and Nutella sandwiches on white bread. I wasn't exercising, so it was definitely not a good weight to be at. And it was actually around my sophomore year in high school, so it was March of my sophomore year of high school, so 4 years ago, I fell in love with fitness. And I actually started in March of 2014. I started very slow. I started walking. And I had about the slowest entry to the whole fitness world you could possibly imagine. I started at a very, very small gym that only retired people went to, but it was down the street from my house. So I would run to it. It would be about a mile down the road and a mile back. So I would run to it, I would do a quick workout, and then I would leave. And I would run back home. So I definitely started out my fitness journey as a cardio bunny. Constantly doing cardio, constantly doing cardio. I was actually raised in a Christian household, but it wasn't until I started fitness was when I really realized that my body is important, because my body was crafted by God. I'd never liked myself, but as I started to take care of my body, I learned what it was to love yourself. And through that, I kind of reconnected with God, and I realized that this was something that was really important to me, and I think God is showing me something for a reason. I started, doing Bible study daily. I started wanting to go back to church. It was insane the way that something like fitness can introduce you to a world, like it can introduce you back into your Christianity. In 2014, I had lost 39 pounds. I was below my start weight. I actually weighed 115 pounds, and I had a very, very, very low body fat percentage. It was around this time that I kind of found myself way closer to God than I have ever been. I realized that you are not on this earth to please anyone. And here I am, so happy. I've lost all this weight. Like, this is amazing. I was called fat. I was made fun of. Here I am. Now I'm skinny. I'm lean. This is awesome. And people accused me of stopping eating. And people accused me of being anorexic. I actually had people asking my mom, is Brooke eating? That really, really upset my mom. And it really upset both my parents. They were just so shocked at how many people thought they weren't paying attention to me, because my parents are both my best friends. But people wanted to constantly criticize me, and I was called too skinny. I was told that I looked sick. I need to eat more. I mean, it was like people were just constantly beating me down. This world will never accept you, and that's okay, because somebody already has. Somebody already paid the price to accept you. And that was Jesus Christ. And that's kind of where I found myself getting so much closer to him, and I found myself relying on him, because I knew that he was proud of me, and I knew that he knew that I was eating 3 square meals a day, that I had worked my butt off. And so I was just so ecstatic that I had this relationship with Christ, and I still do. That fire continued on through the rest of my high school career and into my college career. I was thin, I was tiny, but I was like, you know what? Like, I want to see what the weight room has for me. Like, let's quote unquote pump iron. Like, I want to try that. I was so amazed at the way my body worked when I was lifting weights. I was so amazed at the fact that you could put your body through rigorous exercise and it's always going to produce more weight. It's always going to push more weight than the last time. It was so incredibly impacting. I realized that I was not what the naysayers said I was, and I was strong, and God made me strong, and God said, you know what, you're beautiful, you should love yourself. And it wasn't that easy at first. It was so hard to learn to love myself, and it kind of took trial and error, because I was not seeing results. I expected to walk into the gym, lift weights, and then you could see a clear defined six-pack. It's not that easy. I'm still working for progress. I'm still working to critique my body. It's insane the way that God said, I have so many good plans for you with this journey. Just take a walk down the street and find that gym. I'm still just so amazed at the fact that God is so all-knowing and has every step of the way planned. Like, I'm shell-shocked. I'm shocked, and I'm really just thankful that God introduced this wonderful world to me, because I've made so many friends, I've impacted so many people, I've been able to tell people my story, and I've been an inspiration to others. That is a feeling unlike any other. I have to give that glory back to God, because without him, that would have never happened. And so that is when I realized, when people were telling me, you're my inspiration, I want you to help me, I want to see more. I found putting my workouts and putting more information on my social media is when I found out that I can help a wide range of people. It's such an incredible feeling, the way that social media reaches out to people, because social media is such a negative thing. And this is another reason why I love Cassidy's new journey that she's embarking on with this YouTube channel. She is really bringing to light the positive that God and social media can bring if we put them together and we encourage people rather than tear them down. And at first, you know, I'd be lying if I told you that at first my mindset wasn't, I need to get my followers up, I need to get noticed by certain people, I need to do this, I need to do that. I would love for you guys to connect with me on social media. I would love for you guys to tell me your stories, tell me what impacts you, and tell me your testimonies. I am so excited to watch this whole entire series that Cassidy's putting together. Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on social media, my name is Brooke, B-R-O-O-K-E, period E, period H. It's kind of crazy the way that God works. The day before I messaged Cassidy, or the day after I messaged Cassidy, I was in church, and the sermon at church was about how we need to exercise and we need to train ourselves physically, but we also need to train ourselves mentally and spiritually, and those go hand in hand. So I just think it's, like I said, I just think it's crazy the way that God works. And so I am going to leave you guys with the Bible verse that they read in church that I feel applies to all of us, whether you're just trying to run and get healthy, swim and get healthy, lift and get healthy, whatever you may be doing. I feel like it applies to all of us. So it's 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 7 and 8. So it says, "Have nothing to do with godless myths or old wives' tales, but rather train yourself to be godly. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." I would love to connect with all of you guys. So everyone have a great day, and yeah, God bless all of you.